just joined us, and it's all about the Drive Safe campaign. Of course, looking at the numbers of people dying. It's brought to you by Joy News and Multimedia Group, and it's supported by Logistics Movers. We help you relocate. Toyota Ghana Company Limited, Toyota Superior Quality. Avoid all distractions. Keep both your eyes on the road and hands on the steering wheel. And be visible. Drive with your lights on. That's how to ensure you stay safe and arrive alive.
Now, have you heard about Toyota Ghana's newly introduced vehicle? It's called the Corolla Cross. This is where Corolla beats SUV as it features a 1.8-liter engine with a CV transmission. It is sleek, stylish, roomy, and with a good ground clearance for off-road activity as part of Toyota Ghana's cross-country tour. You have the opportunity to test drive this car, and the opportunity was open from 10th. It ends tomorrow, Friday, 14th of May, so please do take advantage of this. This is the ultimate car of choice in its segment. It's your time to cross over to the Corolla Cross. You can call 0244 281 169 or 0244 260 641 to book a slot to drive this compact yet comfortable SUV Corolla Cross. It is a new journey. Toyota Ghana Company Limited is proud to be associated with Joy FM and Joy News. Arrival life safety tips on the Super Morning Show. Toyota, superior quality.
Oh, are you moving anything? Well, let me introduce you to Logistics Movers, thinking of the safest, hassle-free, and the most secure way of relocating or transporting your goods. Then Logistics Movers is here for you. They're offering you a professional and cost-effective way of moving your office and household items within and outside Accra or wherever you are on the planet. Logistics Movers has what it takes to put a smile on your face, as that is our hallmark. Reach out to us on 0501 277 363. You can also call 0302 918 349. Email info at logisticsmovers.com, or you can check out our website www.logisticsmovers.com. Logistics Movers, we help you relocate.
It's the Super Morning Show here on Joy 99.7 FM. It's Mama V and Benjamin Akapo taking over the Super Morning Show today. We're bringing you Say It Right. Is brought to you by Koba Payment App. Koba, our lives simplified. So what are we saying right today?
Well, it's one of those words that we often hear mispronounced, and it's spelled Laudable. Now, in our part of the world, you sometimes would hear some people pronounce it as laudable, as though they were pronouncing the word loud in there. But of course, the word itself, in verbal form, is laud, and in this form, it is laudable, adjectival. So if you ever come across that word, Laudable, don't be tempted to pronounce it laudable. It rather is laudable. And that's it for Say It Right this morning.
Thank you, sir. Say It Right is brought to you by Koba Payment App. Koba, our lives simplified. So weekends are for chilling, they say, but with Koba, every minute of your time is like a party. Koba makes life simple. It allows you to transfer funds across all bank accounts or mobile money wallets, top up airtime and data, pay your insurance, TV, utility bills, and many more with pleasure, anytime, anywhere. In addition, you get a free life insurance cover while you make your payments with Koba. This is more than you expected, right? So use Koba and enjoy life's little pleasures. Download Koba, which is spelled Korba, on your Play or App Store, or access via the WhatsApp channel 0242 426186, or just dial star 365 hash. Koba, our lives simplified. We have to get into the newspapers.
Well, right before that, it's your year of home ownership, and of course, First National Bank is seeing to that. If owning a new home, buying a second home, or buying land to build your dream home is one of your goals for 2021, then there's some real help from First National Bank. First National Bank has declared 2021 as the year of home ownership to help make home ownership a reality for many Ghanaians. So it's all about YOHO 2021, year of home ownership, and it's offering you a unique opportunity for all resident and non-resident Ghanaians to access First National Bank's suite of home loan offers, get relevant advice on home ownership, and guidance to overcome some of the hurdles like documentation, titles, and credit history. Indeed, home ownership provides stability and wealth building opportunities. You can buy your dream home from our partner developers or choose to complete that project you started years ago. take advantage of First National Bank's competitive interest rates and our promise to give you a decision on your home loan application in just 5 working days, provided all requirements are met. Accept the Yoho 2021 challenge and apply for a home loans facility to ensure you are on the housing ladder by the end of 2021. Call First National Bank on 0242 435 050. That is 0242 435 050. Alternatively, you can call 0800 770 522. 0800 770 522. Or send mail to GhanaHomeLoans at firstnationalbank.com.gh. Yoho 2021, moving you from a tenant to a homeowner. First National Bank, how can we help you?
Now let's get into the trends before we jump into the few papers in, obviously because it's a holiday. But making the trends today after City FM's Caleb Kuda gave his account of what happened on national security. It's got a lot of people talking. He gave, essentially narrated how he was allegedly arrested, was beaten several times, slapped, his phone was taken from him, some content deleted. The Media Foundation for West Africa is advising City FM to take legal action against the national security operatives. Also at the center of this is the abandoned vehicles, and then also one Mr. Azugu coming up again
DSP Azugu.
Strongly after the Yawaso West Wagon situation. So that's been making the trends since yesterday.
And it's left a sour taste in the mouths of many, not just media people. I mean, his account, pretty gory, what he talks about. They're slapping his back, forcing him to kneel down, someone kicking him in the groin and all of that. And his phone was taken, per what he says. And at the point, there was someone communicating with Zoe Abu Baidu as though it were Caleb Kuda. All of these, I mean, they tell quite a story about what happened to him. And, well, now that there's the advice that City FM should push this legally, let's see how far this will go.
Yeah. Interesting twists also. And this unfolded here on Joy FM yesterday. You know, some have said that Caleb was pursuing something that was in the interest of the public, but the GJA president, Afel Money, apparently disagrees. So he says the journalist erred and was in breach of the association's code of ethics. That has also got a lot of people talking.
Yes, it has. I think he cited Article 13, and he had a lot to say about the situation. And, of course, Samson Ladi Anyinini disagreed with him on some of the infractions he mentioned, because basically it boils down to the ethics of a journalist in getting information, some of the processes to be followed. But at least some legal luminaries think it has nothing to do with an infringement on the law. And it's important to note that in this country, as it pertains, if you say something is criminal, it must be in our statutes that it is indeed criminal, and there must be a punishment defined for it, outside of which you cannot implicate someone for any such act.
So we've been talking about the hardships, right, because of the increment recently. Commercial drivers want increment in transport first, following fuel price hikes as a result of the new taxes introduced. They've been meeting stakeholders, and at their last meeting yesterday, it was inconclusive.
Inconclusive is the word. But of course, it's going to continue. And you can see from the tone of the statement that has been issued that this is a matter they are going to pursue. They talk about the VIT, they talk about fuel price increments, they talk about, insurance and all of that. And obviously, they are pushing for some sort of increment, even if not all of what they're looking for.
And ECG is ECG following the Doomso calendar. Some people complain, but if they're not taking your electricity off, would you still come out and say it? So are they following the calendar?
Well, so here's the thing. In my neighborhood, my light barely goes off. It goes off a few times and then I sweat it out. But in recent times, it hasn't gone off. There was a joke, though, yesterday trending on social media. It's a parody website, not from the ECG as we know it. And they said, somewhere in Kaswa, someone had taken one of their ladders. So Kaswa found it actually. The next time they will see light. And you know the interesting bit,
Bruh.
some people took it seriously. They didn't realize it was a parody, Twitter page, and they took it seriously. But that's just one of those things.
Well, maybe finally on the trends, many African heads of state, including President Akufo-Addo, attended Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni's swearing-in ceremony for his sixth term of office. He's been in office since 1986.
Yeah. That gives him what? 35 years in power. Sixth term.
Yeah, for another 5-year term.
Ah, well, what can you say? I guess he's one of those left after Robert Mugabe and a host of others. He's one of those left. Let's see what happens in that respect. But let's also get into the papers, and of course, we'll be checking out some of the new news portals. It's a lean morning, as is to be expected on a holiday. I have the Daily Graphic. What do you have, Mama V?
The Ghanaian Times and the Daily Guide newspapers. Okay, so shall I start?
Yes. Go
All
ahead.
right. Ghanaian Times newspaper Asante Hene joins fight against Galamsey, ask for punishment for illegal miners. 61 chieftaincy cases pending at Western Regional House of Chiefs. Muslims observe Eid al-Fitr today. Policeman grabbed over 100,000 Ghana cedis recruitment scam. If you turn your attention to the back page of the paper, a corner name scored for Morocco, Cote d'Ivoire friendly matches, and Hearts of Oak halts Bichim United's home run. Hallelujah, somebody.
Well, you won't get an amen from a Krobia Sante Kotoko fan, die-hard fan at that. So that's it. Is that it for the Ghanaian Times newspaper?
That's it for the Ghanaian Times newspaper.
Well, I'm going to do the sole paper I have, the Daily Graphic newspaper, and it says Galamsey menace DCE's chiefs must answer. That's according to the Asante Hene Otekokoso speaking there and making a very compelling statement and talking about how Galamsey is actually destroying our country, the land, the water bodies. It's a story I'll be getting into when we do the review proper. But when you turn to page 5, the international news page, Nigeria anti-graft chief recovers stolen funds. And we're talking of a whopping $153 million. It's a story I'll be getting into. On that same page, fake news hampering Ivory Coast vaccination efforts. So, Mama V, it appears it's not just Ghana, in many other countries. In fact, I remember speaking to a technocrat from Israel, the one who speaks for their Ministry of Health. And he mentioned that even in Israel, there are conspiracy theorists and theories, and people sometimes are misled. So that is in there. There's an opinion piece on page 7. Ghana Youth Arise, how to start impactful initiatives. It's one that, especially as a young person, you ought to take a look at. And finally, on the international front, these two stories. Report finds serious failures in WHO global COVID-19 response, and Republican ousted for challenging Trump election claims. I'm talking about Liz Cheney, and her own party has done it to her. When you go to the middle spread of the paper, Church of Pentecost hands over prison camp to government. I think the Daily Graphic a bit late on this one, but it's a story we've been talking about, the camp in Ejura. And commemoration of Nurses Day, Minister assures health workers of payment of outstanding allowances. Finally, on the back page, work towards sustainable peace and unity. Chris Bodo urges Muslims. He is chairman of the Volta Youth Association. So when we return on this one, I'll get into some of the details. Mama.
All right, let's look at what's making headlines in the Daily Guide newspaper. Agrada is on the page, the front page of the paper. Agrada pays NCA debts. Sikagari trial begins.
Sikawiti.
Sikagari.
Aha.
Yeah,
Now
so
this Sikagari, I'm sure Abozigi herself will not identify with this one. Though she's burnt it, I don't think she would identify. Should we do this? Okay, Mama V, we're going to take it on. It's a holiday. Let's do a remix of this. Sika what? That's right.
I'll stick to Agrada. Okay, so when I come back, I'll share with you what's been playing out, the debts that she's paid at the NCA. But there are a lot of people who have made complaints, apparently, in different police stations across the country. Health workers trained on larval source management. Chief of Staff opens Public Relations Unit is also another story. And then Nana and Museveni's swearing in. If you do the center spread where they have the News One pullout, Diana Samoa humbled by Ga chiefs. There have been some photos of her appearance at the palace as she was asked to appear before the Ga Mancha Palace on May 10th. So in this viral picture, she could be seen on her knees pleading with the chiefs and elders of the Ga community to forgive her. What exactly did she say? I will come back and share that with you when we look at details of some of the stories. But there are some sports stories on the back of the paper. Herbert Mensah stand by Rugby Union suspension. I want to play with Ronaldo, says Neymar. Akono names called for 2 friendlies, and Man City are England champs, and they didn't even have to play to lift the trophy.
Well, times and seasons, if you like. I'm a diehard Red Devils fan. And let's see what next season will bring on board. But I guess we can now delve into some of the topical matters. And I'll start with Galamsey, of course, that menace. And the Asante Hene Otumfuose too. I nearly missed something there. The second has said that the district chief executives and chiefs in areas where illegal mining, that is Galamsey, has gained root, should be held responsible. And I'm quoting him here per the Daily Graphic. It says, district chief executives as chairpersons of the district security councils should be held directly responsible for the situation of illegal mining within their respective districts. But he goes on to talk about chiefs as well. He says, for chiefs in his domain who are engaged in the act, he warned that he would deal with them when caught. Of course, all of this took place as he delivered the keynote address at the first regional consultative dialogue on small-scale mining in Kumasi yesterday. So we've taken the national concept, and you were there very much in the thick of things, Mama B. And now it's the regional concept. It's going round across the 16 regions of the country, at least in the mining region. So at least some push there, even from the chieftaincy institution. But mention is also made in this story about refreshingly how there are reports that some rivers are beginning to slowly recover. And I always go back to that, antidote, if you like, proffered by the University of Mines and Technology. I'm hoping the government will really push on that, because if it can help facilitate the clearing of our water bodies, the coloration levels are too high. I mean, the turbidity levels are too high as well. It's making work for the Ghana Water Company Limited rather difficult. So this is an emergency, and we need to address it now.
Let's also not forget that there's Operation Halt. The Ghana Armed Forces also doing their thing, even though some of their actions have been a bit controversial. My worry, though, is that would they always be there? Would we always have the Ghana Armed Forces protecting our water bodies, especially ensuring that people don't mine within the red zone, what has been outlined? They move from one place to the other. They've been on River Pra or Finso. And my fear is when they leave, would we have these people return to those parts where they've visited earlier? So that's really my worry.
No, but that's actually a game of hide and seek that apparently is being played even now. So they get wind of the fact, and that's another thing. The intelligence, how these people are even able to get information that maybe the task force is coming their way, maybe military personnel are headed that way. That means that in these institutions there might be moles, or there might be people feeding them with that information, because a lot of the time what you hear is they hear that the operatives are coming by, they move away. Once they hear you've moved on, then they return. But at least with the current operation and the shooting of the Shangfangs and the rest, well, it would impede their coming back, even if they came.
Well, listen, this approach is not entirely new, except that with this latest one, we have the Ghana Armed Forces fully in charge. So you don't have a mixture or a collaboration with other institutions. This is Ghana Armed Forces doing their thing. You don't have one other ministry or the other leading them. So
But there's
for
even
me,
a
that's
big
why I'm
question
hopeful.
there.
It's the sustainability that's the big question, I guess. But I will be comfortable if Ghana Armed Forces will stay there, like forever and ever. I'm comfortable that this is solely their operation.
But is that also possible? Is that possible? I mean, looking at our numbers, when it comes to the police, when it comes to the military, you look at UN standards and what is even required of the police to citizen ratio. You look at all of that and you begin to ask yourself, is that sustainable? It's going to be a draw on the coffers of the country. We're already bleeding when it comes to the economy. I mean, of course, Galamsey is a menace and it's going to cost us a lot more if we don't deal with it. But the cost factoring and all of that must really be taken stock of. But one thing I want to add, chip in. Some people in the industry have also complained about the fact that, okay, so the lands minister, Abu Jinapor, will be saying this. Then we have the president also come in and say this. If we want to do it, let's have an arrowhead. If it's the ministry, we know it's the ministry, and everything flows from there. What do you think about that?
Listen, what I do know is that an interministerial committee has failed us, so we can't do that.
We had the
It's a no-go area. We can have a vanguard. We had a whole team mixed up.
Now defunct.
We can't trust that. We have beautiful laws. Unfortunately, we have failed to enforce. So now we have the Ghana. That's like our last resort. And I guess that we have all accepted.
Is it our last resort?
Yeah.
We've used the Ghana Armed Forces before.
But that's
We've used the military before.
But that's the point.
In fact, it culminated in the death of Major Mahama. We've used this before.
So here's
and
the
in fact,
thing.
people were killed.
Here's the thing. I have said before that it was an interministerial committee that was set up, which meant that the military were not necessarily leading it. They were part of a group. But this time, they're leading it. This is their fight now. They are the forefront. So, I mean...
But are they really leading it?
They are.
It's a frontal charge from the Lands Commission, from the office of the president. The military is merely, I don't want to use the word that is coming. They are not pawns in this piece, but they are. No, I'm saying they are not pawns in this entire chessboard. But I'm saying that they are only following directives. I mean, they are merely complying with what is supposed to be done. They are not in charge, so to speak.
I don't think so, because I've seen videos of the leaders on the ground. This is a purely military operation. Even though it's support to the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry. There is no police involvement in this, and that is why I will continue to say that I'm hopeful, except that I agree on the issue of sustainability. How are you going to sustain this? I mean, they are not trained to be fighting inside the country. They are supposed to be protecting us, our borders, and now we have them fighting inside. I mean, that's the... Yeah, but
it continues, basically. And we're going to have to chip in. I think that this is one issue we have to fix, really fix, because if we don't, it is clear. And we heard Member of Parliament for Ningo Prampram the other day highlighting it. In the next 8 years or so, we could be importing water. It could be our reality. I mean, how many people can do that? Even the sachet water, how many people can purchase it? Yeah. Ordinary people. So it's a matter we ought to take very seriously. Something that we cannot,
Well, we'll go online pretty shortly. Online news review is brought to you by Zenith Bank in your best interest. GOIL, good energy. So GOIL higher grade fuels have been tried, tested, proven and accepted over the years as most suitable for all engine types, including the latest vehicles with the most modern engines. In addition to these superior qualities, GOIL higher grade fuels are further fortified with the XP3 additive multifunctional and handsome, more efficient, eco-friendly, and sold at no extra cost. GOIL higher grade fuels come in GOIL Superior SP Run 95 and Diesel XP, sold in every GOIL station and not just selected stations. Fill up with GOIL higher grade fuels. Ajibebia, GOIL, good energy, GOIL. Yeah, Abazi.
Yeah.
Okay, so I just quickly wanted to touch on...
But maybe right before you do that, let's cross over and catch up with the BBC News brought to you by Fidelity Bank. Believe with us.
I nearly gave up on driving out of frustration. What hadn't I done? Purging, replacing electrical parts, changing my fuel pump, and still the engine noise in my car wouldn't stop. Then I met this guy who said I should try GOIL Fuel. By the way, my name is Thomas. I did try GOIL Super XP Run 95. Now my car is